Capricorn, I need you to take a deep breath with me right now because when I laid out these cards for you, the energy that came through was unlike anything I've felt in weeks. This reading is specifically for you as we move through this next chapter, and I'm sensing there's this powerful momentum building around you that you might not even be fully aware of yet. The cards are showing me that multiple things are converging at once, like different rivers flowing toward the same ocean, and you're standing right at that point of convergence. What I'm picking up is that you've been in this phase of waiting, of building, of doing the work behind the scenes while maybe feeling like nothing visible is happening, but that's about to completely shift. There's this energy of things materializing, of people noticing you in ways they haven't before, and of intentions being directed toward you from others that carry real weight and significance. I'm also getting this sense that you've been testing something, whether that's a relationship dynamic, a professional situation, or even your own boundaries and capabilities, and the universe is about to give you some very clear answers. Before we dive into what each card is revealing, I want you to understand that this is a general reading for entertainment purposes. So take what resonates deeply with your situation and leave what doesn't align. I'm interpreting the energy I see in these cards based on my intuition and experience, and this isn't meant to replace any professional advice you might need in specific areas of your life. What I'm sharing is the story these cards are telling me about the energy surrounding you, and my hope is that it brings you clarity, validation, and maybe even some excitement about what's unfolding. The first card that came forward is the Devil and Capricorn. When this card appeared in your reading, I felt this immediate recognition of something you've been wrestling with. The moment I turned it over, there was this heavy but familiar energy, like finally naming something you've been feeling but couldn't quite articulate. This isn't about literal evil or anything sinister, but rather about attachments, patterns, and situations that have had a grip on you, perhaps without you fully realizing how tight that grip has been. What I'm seeing here is that there's been something or someone in your life that's had power over you in some way, maybe an unhealthy dynamic, a limiting belief about what you deserve, or even an addiction to a certain outcome that's been keeping you stuck in place when you're meant to be moving forward. The imagery on this card shows those chains, but here's what's crucial for you to understand right now. Those chains are loose enough to slip off if you choose to. You've been the one keeping yourself bound to this situation, this pattern, this person, this way of thinking, and that realization might sting a bit, but it's also incredibly empowering because it means you hold the key to your own freedom. I'm getting this strong sense that part of you has been comfortable in this discomfort because it's familiar, because stepping away means entering unknown territory. And Capricorn, you like to have your plans mapped out and your footing secure before you take any significant step. But the energy I'm picking up suggests that you're reaching a breaking point where the cost of staying attached is finally outweighing the fear of letting go. This could manifest in so many different ways in your actual life. Maybe it's a relationship where you keep giving someone chances despite clear evidence they're not changing, despite friends telling you what you already know deep down. Maybe it's a job situation where you're chronically undervalued, but the security feels safer than the risk of something new, even though you fantasize about leaving almost daily. Or maybe these chains are even more subtle. Patterns within yourself, like perfectionism that paralyzes you, control that exhausts you, or fear disguised as practicality that keeps you from taking chances on what you actually want. What's really interesting here is that this card appearing first tells me the cards want to address this head-on, no sugarcoating, because everything else that's about to happen in this reading, all those good things coming your way, all those intentions people have toward you, they require you to start loosening these chains. The universe is preparing to bring you abundance, recognition, and genuine connection. But you need to make space for it by releasing what's been taking up too much real estate in your energy field and keeping you playing small. Moving into the Page of Cups and Capricorn, the shift in energy here is palpable. After the Devil showing us what needs to be released, this page arrives like a gentle messenger carrying something tender and new. And I have to tell you, the contrast between these two cards made me smile when I laid them down. When I pulled this card, I immediately felt this youthful, hopeful quality, like the first green shoots pushing through soil after a long winter, like the first warm day after months of cold. The Page of Cups represents new emotional beginnings, creative inspiration, and messages of love or meaningful connection arriving in your life. What I'm sensing for you is that there's someone entering your awareness or about to enter your life who brings this refreshing, genuine energy that feels completely different from whatever that devil energy represented. This isn't someone playing games or carrying heavy baggage into the dynamic. This is someone who approaches you with sincerity, maybe even a bit of vulnerability that's actually endearing rather than off-putting, and their intentions toward you are pure and emotionally honest in a way you might not have experienced in a while. Now, this could absolutely be romantic, especially given the topic of people having strong intentions toward you, but I'm also picking up that it could be a new friendship that feels surprisingly deep and nourishing. A creative collaborator who inspires you and sees your potential. Or even a younger person who reminds you of parts of yourself you'd forgotten or teaches you something valuable about staying open. What strikes me most about this card in your reading is the timing of it, appearing right after the devil. It's like the universe is saying, once you release those old chains, once you stop entertaining what's been draining you and dulling your light, here comes something genuinely nourishing that your soul has been craving. I'm picking up that this person or this new emotional chapter might already be hovering at the edges of your life right now. Maybe someone you've noticed but haven't fully engaged with yet because you've been so tangled up in that devil energy, or an opportunity you've been hesitant to explore because opening yourself up feels risky after whatever you've been through. The Page of Cups is also deeply connected to intuitive messages and trusting your emotional guidance system over pure logic. You might start receiving signs, synchronicities that feel too specific to be coincidence, or gut feelings about something or someone that you can't quite explain but that feel undeniably true. The cards are encouraging you to pay attention to these whispers, these gentle nudges. Your logical Capricorn mind might want concrete proof, a 5-year plan, and a guarantee before you trust these feelings, but this page is asking you to soften just a bit, to let your guard down enough to receive what's trying to come through. There's magic available to you right now in the realm of emotions and connections, but it requires you to be willing to feel, to hope, to believe in something before you can see all the evidence. The Queen of Pentacles appears next, and Capricorn, this card feels like coming home to yourself in the best possible way. When this Queen showed up in your spread, I felt this immediate sense of grounded, abundant, nurturing energy that's so perfectly aligned with your earth sign nature, and honestly, she feels like the fully realized version of you. What I'm seeing here is that you're stepping into or being actively called to embody this energy of someone who has their life together in tangible, visible, undeniable ways. The Queen of Pentacles is about material security, yes, but she's so much more than just money in the bank. She's about creating beauty and genuine comfort in your physical environment, taking care of your body and health as acts of self-respect, and approaching life with this practical wisdom that comes from experience and paying attention. She knows how to make things grow, whether that's investments, gardens, relationships, or her own skills and value. The energy I'm picking up suggests that as you release those devil chains and open yourself to the Page of Cups' new beginnings, you're simultaneously being supported in building or strengthening your foundation in really concrete ways. This could manifest as financial improvements coming your way, maybe a raise you've been working toward, a new income stream opening up, or just better management of resources that creates more breathing room and actual wealth. It might show up as finally getting your living space to feel like a true sanctuary, rather than just where you crash, investing in quality things that make daily life more beautiful and functional, or this overall sense of having your practical affairs in better order than they've been in a long while. What's really interesting about this Queen in your reading, especially in the context of people having strong intentions toward you, is that she represents you becoming the kind of person others genuinely want to invest in, both emotionally and materially. You're not desperate or needy or begging for scraps of attention. You're building something real and sustainable, and that self-sufficiency is incredibly magnetic to quality people who want to add to your life rather than take from it or fix you. I'm also getting this sense that you might be in a position to help or nurture others from your overflow, maybe offering practical support, resources, wisdom, or mentorship to someone who genuinely needs it and will appreciate it. The Queen of Pentacles is generous, but she's also discerning. She doesn't give from depletion or obligation or to earn love. She gives from genuine abundance and care, and she knows the difference between helping someone and enabling them. This card is encouraging you to continue investing in yourself, your skills, your health, your home, your financial literacy, all the practical foundations of a good life, because all of that groundwork you're laying right now is about to pay off in ways you'll be able to see and touch and enjoy. Now we have the Nine of Wands and Capricorn. When this card appeared, I felt this complex warrior energy mixed with deep weariness, and I want to honor what this represents. The Nine of Wands shows someone who's been through battles, who's still standing upright but definitely showing the signs of the fight, the scars, the exhaustion, those bandages, that defensive posture, the 8 wands behind representing all you've already endured, and the 1 wand held firmly in front, ready for whatever comes next. This is the energy of someone who's persevered through more than most people realize. What I'm picking up for you is that you've been through some genuinely challenging experiences recently, maybe betrayals that cut deep, disappointments that shook your faith in people or in life's fairness, and now you're in this space of being strong and still standing, but also battle-worn and understandably cautious about what might be coming around the corner. The energy I'm sensing suggests that part of those strong intentions people have toward you might actually be met with your own resistance at first, not because you don't want good things, but because you've learned through painful experience to be more guarded, more careful, more protective of yourself and what you've built. You've been hurt before, so even when something genuinely good or safe approaches, there's this instinct to stay defensive, to look for the hidden catch, to keep your walls up and your guard in place. Here's what the Nine of Wands wants you to understand, though, and this is important. Your caution is wisdom earned through real experience, and it should be respected. But don't let it harden into a wall so thick that it keeps out what you actually want and need. You're so close to a breakthrough, to the completion of this challenging cycle, and this card often appears right before the Ten of Wands, right before the burden is finally lifted, and you can set it down and rest. What I'm interpreting is that yes, absolutely stay aware. Maintain those healthy boundaries you've worked hard to establish. Don't ignore red flags just because you want something to work out, but also develop the discernment to recognize when you're bringing old war wounds into brand new situations that don't actually deserve that level of suspicion or distrust. The intentions coming toward you from others, those opportunities about to unfold that we're seeing in this reading, they're not all threats in disguise or traps waiting to snap shut. Some of them are genuinely safe and good and meant for you, but you'll only be able to recognize and receive them if you can differentiate between protective awareness that serves you and trauma-based defensiveness that keeps you isolated. This 9 is also telling me something else that I think you need to hear. You have more strength and resilience than you give yourself credit for, even on your worst days. You've survived everything that tried to break you so far, and that's not weakness or just dumb luck. That's real power. Just make sure that power is being channeled into moving forward and building the life you want rather than staying permanently barricaded in a defensive position that might have been necessary once but isn't serving you anymore. The 5 of Wands comes through next, and Capricorn, this card brought through this chaotic, competitive, everyone talking at once energy that honestly feels a bit exhausting just to witness. When I pulled this card, I immediately sensed tension, conflict, and this scrambling quality where nothing feels coordinated or harmonious, and everyone seems to be fighting for the same thing or pulling in completely different directions without any communication. What I'm picking up in your specific situation is that there's some competition or conflict happening around you right now, and it's possibly directly related to those strong intentions people have toward you that we keep seeing confirmed. This could manifest in several ways. Maybe there are multiple people wanting your attention, your time, your energy, and they're all competing for it in ways that create tension or force you to choose. Maybe different aspects of your life are demanding focus simultaneously. Work pulling you one direction, family another, personal goals a third, and you feel stretched thin trying to meet all these competing demands. Or this might even be internal conflict, different parts of you wanting different things, ambition versus rest, security versus adventure, head versus heart, and you're struggling to integrate these conflicting desires into a coherent path forward. The Five of Wands isn't necessarily malicious or destructive conflict. It's more like the friction that naturally happens when different energies, goals, personalities, or agendas are all trying to occupy the same space without clear boundaries or coordination. I'm sensing that you might be dealing with some drama right now, either directly involving you or swirling in your immediate environment, where people have different expectations of you and everyone thinks their way is the right way, and they're not shy about expressing that. This could be happening at work with colleagues competing for the same recognition, promotion, or resources, and everyone jockeying for position. It might be in your social circle with friends having conflicting expectations of your time and loyalty, maybe some tension about who you're spending time with or how you're changing. Or this could absolutely show up in romantic or attraction dynamics, where there might be more than one person expressing interest, and the whole situation feels messy, confusing, or competitive in ways that aren't particularly flattering to anyone involved. What's important for you to understand about this Five of Wands energy is that it's temporary chaos and it's actually revealing something valuable even though it's uncomfortable. This friction, this competition, this conflict, it's showing you what and who you actually want to fight for, what battles are worth your energy versus what's just noise and distraction that will drain you without producing anything meaningful. Not every conflict deserves your engagement, Capricorn. You're being called to develop serious discernment about which of these competing demands, expectations, or conflicts are actually moving you towards something important and aligned, and which ones are just chaos for chaos's sake that will leave you exhausted without getting you any closer to what you truly want. The energy I'm picking up also suggests that some of this conflict might actually be stirred up by people who feel threatened by your growth, by that Queen of Pentacles energy you're embodying, by the fact that you're releasing those devil chains and stepping into your power in ways that make you less available to their agenda or less easy to control or influence. There might be some people in your world who preferred you stuck, smaller, more accessible to their needs, and they're creating friction as a subconscious way to pull you back down or distract you from your actual path forward. The Emperor arrives with such commanding, unmistakable presence, and Capricorn, this is your card in so many profound ways. When the Emperor showed up, I felt this immediate surge of structure, authority, sovereign leadership, and unwavering commitment to vision and values. This is the energy of someone who rules their domain with wisdom, long-term strategy, and this unshakable commitment to their own standards and vision for how things should be. What I'm interpreting here is that you're being called, actually more like commanded, to step fully into your Emperor energy, to take absolute charge of your life, your choices, your boundaries, your future in a way that might have felt scary or premature or presumptuous before but now feels necessary and right. The energy I'm sensing suggests that all of this chaos from the Five of Wands, all of that weariness and defensiveness from the Nine of Wands, those attachments from the Devil, all of it has actually been training you for this exact moment of sovereign leadership. You're being prepared to sit on your throne, to make decisions from a place of authority and clarity rather than reaction or fear, to create the structures, systems, rules, and boundaries in your life that actually support your highest good rather than just accommodating everyone else's comfort. This could manifest as you stepping into a leadership role professionally, whether that's a promotion, starting your own venture, or just being recognized as the expert or authority you've become. It might show up as you finally setting firm, non-negotiable boundaries in relationships, saying no without guilt, requiring people to meet your standards if they want access to you rather than bending yourself into shapes to keep them comfortable. This is about making major life decisions with confidence and trusting your own judgment, operating from a place of I am in charge of my life and I know what's best for me, rather than constantly seeking external validation or feeling like life is just happening to you and you're scrambling to keep up. What's really powerful about the Emperor appearing in your reading right now is that it's showing me those strong intentions people have toward you are partially because they're recognizing and responding to this sovereign energy emerging in you. People are naturally drawn to leaders, to people who know what they want and aren't apologetic about going after it, who have clear values and standards and stick to them. I'm picking up that you might have been playing smaller than your actual capacity for a while now, maybe dimming your natural authority because you didn't want to seem arrogant or intimidating, second-guessing your right to lead or claim space or assert your vision because who are you to think you're that special? The Emperor is telling you those days of playing small are done. You have every right to build your empire, your kingdom, your life exactly the way you envision it, to set rules and standards for how you'll be treated and what you'll accept, and to remove anyone or anything that doesn't align with the vision you're creating. This card is also deeply about strategy and long-term thinking, which plays directly into your natural Capricorn strengths. You're not just reacting emotionally in the moment or making impulsive moves based on how you feel right now. You're building something designed to last, making decisions with wisdom and genuine forethought about future consequences, and establishing yourself as someone whose word and commitment actually means something in a world where that's increasingly rare. Wheel of Fortune spins into your reading with this undeniable momentum, and Capricorn, when this card appeared, I felt this rush of movement, change, destiny-driven energy, and the sense that forces bigger than you are moving pieces into position. The Wheel of Fortune is one of the major cards that signals significant shifts happening, cycles completing, and new ones beginning, and the hand of fate or destiny actively arranging circumstances in ways you couldn't orchestrate yourself even if you tried. What I'm picking up for you is that you're entering this powerful turning point where things that have been stuck, slow, or stagnant are suddenly going to start moving with surprising speed, where opportunities you couldn't have planned for or predicted are going to present themselves seemingly out of nowhere, where the universe is actively working behind the scenes to align circumstances, people, and timing in your favor. The energy I'm sensing suggests that all of this buildup we've been seeing, the releasing of the devil's chains, the new emotional beginnings with the Page of Cups, embodying that Queen of Pentacles abundance and capability, surviving the battles of the Nine of Wands, navigating the chaos of the Five of Wands, stepping fully into the Emperor's sovereign authority, all of it has been preparation for this turn of the wheel. Something big is shifting in your favor right now. This could manifest as a sudden opportunity that seems to come completely out of left field, a chance encounter or conversation that changes your entire trajectory, circumstances aligning in ways that feel almost too perfect or convenient to be random coincidence, or just this overall sense that life is finally working with you instead of against you at every turn. What's really interesting and validating about the wheel in your reading is that it directly confirms what the topic suggested. Many things are about to happen to you, not just one isolated event or change. The Wheel of Fortune represents multiple areas of life shifting simultaneously, which can honestly feel overwhelming when you're in the middle of it, but is ultimately moving you upward on the cycle toward better circumstances, more opportunities, greater recognition. I'm getting this strong sense that you've been on the bottom or middle part of the wheel for what feels like a long time, working hard without much visible reward, enduring challenges that tested you, building your foundation stone by stone while wondering if the effort would ever pay off, and now you're finally moving toward the top where the view is better. The air is clearer. The rewards for all that grinding effort become visible and tangible. The wheel also carries this important reminder that some things are genuinely beyond your control, and there's actually profound relief in accepting that truth. You don't have to figure everything out, or force every outcome, or make everything happen through sheer willpower and strategy. There are cosmic forces at work, call it fate, destiny, divine timing, synchronicity, whatever framework makes sense to you. And these forces are orchestrating connections and opportunities behind the scenes that you can't see yet. Right now, those forces are moving in your favor. Your job is to trust the timing even when it doesn't make logical sense. Trust the turns even when they feel disorienting, and stay open to possibilities you might not have even considered because they seemed too good or too unlikely. Strength appears with such grace and quiet power, and Capricorn, this card brought through this energy of true inner fortitude, courage that doesn't need to announce itself, and the ability to face whatever comes with both composure and heart. When strength showed up, I felt this calm, deeply confident energy that's not about aggression, force, or domination, but about genuine mastery over oneself and one's circumstances through patience and compassion. The traditional imagery shows a figure gently closing or taming a lion's mouth, not through violence or force, but through patience, love, and this unshakable inner strength that makes force unnecessary. What I'm interpreting for you is that you're being called to approach everything that's happening right now, all of these strong intentions from others, all of these changes and opportunities from the Wheel of Fortune, all of the chaos and leadership and transformation with this strength energy rather than trying to muscle through or control outcomes. You absolutely have the capacity to handle whatever comes your way. I'm not worried about that, but it's going to require you to stay connected to your inner power, your core values, your authentic self, rather than trying to control everything through external force or manipulation. The energy I'm picking up suggests that some of what's about to happen might feel intense, overwhelming at moments, or like more than you signed up for. And your instinct might be to either bulldoze through it with sheer willpower and determination, or to retreat completely and protect yourself behind walls. Strength is asking for something more nuanced and mature than either of those reactions. Stay present with the intensity rather than running from it or trying to dominate it. Be gentle with yourself and others while still maintaining your power and boundaries. Face challenges with courage that's rooted in self-trust and self-knowledge rather than bravado or false confidence. This could manifest in practical ways, like having those difficult conversations that need to happen, but doing it with grace and kindness rather than attacking or defending. It might look like standing your ground on something that matters without being aggressive or making others wrong. It could be showing vulnerability and admitting you don't have all the answers while still trusting your ability to figure things out. It's staying calm and centered even when circumstances around you are chaotic or people are losing their composure. I'm also getting this sense that strength is appearing specifically to remind you that you've already survived and overcome so much, and that entire history of resilience, of getting back up, of continuing forward even when things were hard, that's all proof of the immense power you carry within you. Those 9 of Wands battles didn't break you. They revealed and strengthened your core. Now you get to use that strength not just to survive difficult circumstances, but to actually thrive, to create what you want, to love without losing yourself, to lead without becoming hard or closed. What's beautiful and important about this card is that it shows strength paired with compassion, power balanced with gentleness and love. You don't have to harden yourself to be strong, Capricorn. You don't have to close your heart or build impenetrable walls to be powerful. In fact, the most potent and sustainable version of strength is when you can be both soft and fierce simultaneously, when you can stay open-hearted and loving while also being absolutely unmovable in your boundaries, values, and standards. The Six of Swords comes through with this energy of necessary transition and choosing to move away from turbulence toward calmer, more peaceful waters. When this card appeared, I felt this sense of relief mixed with bittersweetness. The feeling of leaving something difficult behind, even when part of you wonders if you should keep trying, choosing to move forward, even though the journey itself might feel uncertain or sad in moments. The imagery typically shows figures in a boat moving deliberately from rough, choppy waters to smoother, calmer ones, carrying swords that represent thoughts, beliefs, memories, or experiences from the past that they're bringing along because they hold value or lessons. What I'm picking up for you, Capricorn, is that you're actively in the process of a significant mental and emotional transition right now. You're leaving behind old ways of thinking that don't serve you anymore, old patterns and attachments from that devil card, old pain and defensiveness from those Nine of Wands battles, old chaos and conflict from the Five of Wands, and you're moving towards something more peaceful, aligned, and ultimately healthier for your well-being. The energy I'm sensing suggests that this movement might already be happening internally, even if your external circumstances haven't completely shifted yet. In obvious ways. You're changing how you think about yourself, your worth, your possibilities, what you'll accept and what you won't, and that fundamental mental shift is actually going to be the foundation for everything else that changes in your physical reality going forward. This could manifest as you making the conscious, deliberate decision to stop engaging with certain people or situations that consistently keep you in drama or chaos, choosing to focus your energy on what brings peace and growth rather than what brings constant conflict and stress. It might look like you literally making a physical move or transition in your life circumstances, changing jobs, ending a relationship, moving to a new place, or just reorganizing your daily life to better support your mental health and goals. What's interesting and reassuring about the Six of Swords in your reading is that it confirms you're absolutely not stuck where you were. Progress is happening. Movement is real and ongoing. Even if it feels slower than you'd like or you can't see the final destination clearly yet, you are moving forward away from what was hurting you and toward what will heal and elevate you. I'm also getting this sense that the journey itself, this transition period you're in right now, is important and valuable. You're not meant to rush through it or skip the lessons and processing it's offering you. Those swords in the boat represent things you're choosing to carry with you, wisdom and hard-won experience from what you've been through, and that's actually valuable. You're not running away from your past or pretending difficult things didn't happen. You're integrating those experiences, bringing forward the lessons and strength they taught you while leaving behind the pain, bitterness, or limiting beliefs they tried to install. The calm waters ahead represent a period of greater peace, mental clarity, emotional stability, and this overall sense of things feeling less chaotic and more manageable, which aligns beautifully with that Queen of Pentacles' grounded energy and the Emperor's structured leadership you're growing into. The final card, the Ace of Swords, comes through like a lightning bolt of pure clarity cutting through fog, and Capricorn, when this ace appeared to close your reading, I felt this sharp, brilliant, almost electric energy of breakthrough, truth revealed, and mental clarity so strong it's undeniable. The Ace of Swords represents powerful new beginnings in the mental realm. Breakthrough insights that change everything, truth finally being revealed after confusion or deception, clarity cutting through all the noise and uncertainty, and the power of the mind when it's aligned with truth and justice. What I'm interpreting for you is that after everything we've seen in this reading, after all the releasing and battling and chaos and leadership and turning wheels and strength and transitions, you're being given this incredible gift of absolute crystalline clarity. The energy I'm sensing suggests that you're about to have a major realization, receive crucial information, or experience a breakthrough moment that makes everything suddenly make sense in ways it hasn't before. All of those questions you've been sitting with, all of that confusion about people's true intentions toward you, about which direction to take, about what's real and what's performance or manipulation, about what you should do next. You're about to get answers that feel undeniable. This could manifest as a conversation where someone finally tells you the truth they've been hiding or dancing around, whether you wanted to hear it or not. It might be a sudden insight that clicks everything into place, where you suddenly understand the pattern you couldn't see before or the real reason behind someone's behavior. It could be information coming to light that you needed to see, maybe through discovery or someone else revealing what they know, or just this powerful moment of mental breakthrough where you suddenly understand with complete clarity what's been happening around you and what you need to do about it. The Ace of Swords is also deeply connected to justice, fairness, truth, and cutting through deception or illusion with precision. If there's been any dishonesty in your environment, any false narratives people have been pushing, any manipulation or gaslighting attempts, this ace is bringing the sword of truth to cut through all of that nonsense decisively. You're going to see situations and people clearly without the distortions of wishful thinking, fear, or the stories you've been telling yourself to avoid uncomfortable truths, and that clarity is going to be both liberating and deeply empowering, even if the truth itself is hard to face. What's powerful and perfect about this ace ending your entire reading is that it represents you moving forward into this next chapter with certainty, with truth on your side, with your mind sharp and clear and no longer clouded by confusion or doubt. You're not going to be confused, misled, or second-guessing yourself anymore. You're going to know exactly what you're dealing with, who people really are beneath their presentations, what situations actually offer versus what they promise. And from that place of knowing and clarity, you can make decisions that truly serve your highest good. This is the culmination of everything, the mental breakthrough that allows you to fully claim all of that abundance the Queen of Pentacles promised, embody that Emperor leadership with confidence, use your strength wisely, and navigate the changes of the wheel with awareness. You're being armed with clarity and truth, and Capricorn, that's genuinely one of the most powerful weapons you can have as you move forward. So Capricorn, when I look at this entire reading as a complete story, here's what I'm seeing for you, and I need you to really take this in. You're in this incredibly potent, transformative time where old chains and attachments are being released. Brand new beginnings are entering your life both emotionally and practically, and you're stepping into a version of yourself that's more sovereign, more abundant, more clear, and more powerful than you've been before. Those strong intentions people have toward you that the topic mentioned, they're absolutely real, and they're responding directly to the energy you're embodying right now. That queen who has her life together and her priorities straight. That emperor who leads with authority and clarity. That person with strength who can handle intensity and challenge with both grace and power. Yes, there's been conflict and weariness along the way. Yes, there are still battles being fought and chaos swirling in your environment. But you're moving through all of that turbulence toward calmer waters and brilliant clarity that will allow you to see everything as it truly is. The Wheel of Fortune is turning in your favor, bringing opportunities, connections, and shifts that are divinely timed, even if you can't see the full picture yet, and you're being supported in making this crucial transition from where you've been stuck to where you're absolutely meant to be. Everything is about to start making sense in ways it hasn't before, and from that place of clarity and truth, you're going to be able to claim everything that's rightfully yours. Trust the process that's unfolding, trust your own strength and wisdom. Get ready, Capricorn, because you're genuinely about to have it all.